Hello, everyone. This is Charles in Chicago. It's Tuesday, October the 10th. You can see by the name of this video that it has to do with a consecration to God our Father. But before I get to that, there is a little bit of news, and this has to do with Cardinal Burke yesterday. And the headline is Cardinal Burke urges consecration of Russia in manner requested by Our Lady. Now, apparently, he's someone who thinks that it hasn't been done. Some people agree with him that it hasn't been done. Some people think that it has been done. And I suppose there are some people who just don't really know for sure. But anyway, there is a while back I ran across an article by Dr. Taylor Marshall, and you'll see this website address um, coming up shortly. Um, and he doesn't really give his own opinion. What he does is lay out, looks like 6 different times this has been attempted. The last time in 1984 by John Paul II. And he talks about what the arguments are for and against whether this has really happened or not. And he doesn't really give his own conclusion here. I've read this article, no, I don't know, I think last year or something. But one thing I do want to point out about this is on this page, there's a picture of Sister Lucia with John Paul II. Now, people have claimed that this woman sitting here is not really Sister Lucia. Okay, so I looked at pictures of the last picture we know that is of Sister Lucia, and this person here, whether she is or not, I don't know. But anyway, there's been scientific studies done on the bone structure of her face in both images, and they don't match up. Now, you can take that for, as being significant or not. Um, because the problem here is that Sister Lucia said that the consecration was done. Now, like I said, this bone structure thing is just a scientific way of looking at this. Um, but it's all very interesting. And, if you're not really sure whether it has or not, or you want to read about the history of all this, because the first time it was done, or first time it was attempted, was in 1942, then again in 64, 82, um, something happened in 83, and then again in the last attempt was in 84. See, and then it says on August 29th, 1989, Sister Lucia affirms in correspondence that the consecration of Russia has been accomplished and that God will keep his word. Then they talk about the fall of the Berlin Wall and, some other things. Um, but they have few paragraphs here about those who say Russia has not been properly consecrated. They point out 2 points. Anyway, I don't want to belabor this. If you're interested, the first link I have on what you're looking at there, that's Dr. Taylor's. Um, that's his website, and this is the article that he wrote about it. And I thought it was worth reading. It's a neutral sort of article here, so I'm not trying to convince any of you that it either has or hasn't. So, well, the other thing is I thought was worth talking to you about is There's a consecration I did last year to God our Father, and this consecration came about. Oh, I don't know when. When this happened exactly. Some number of years ago, um, and a person said that they were receiving messages from God our Father, and he's put together a rather elaborate consecration here. And I have to tell you, I did it last year, and I certainly received a lot of benefit from it. It's really a very beautiful consecration. Um, and any of you who would be interested in that, you see that address up there. And I encourage you to do this. Now, it's honestly, it's a little bit on the long side for 8 days, for the first 8 days, and I wondered where they come up with eight, but actually, eight is a number that appears very often in the Old Testament, and it has to do with that's like God our Father's number, and it also appears in the New Testament also. Um, so anyway, you can look at that if you want to, and then there's a PDF version that you could click on, or MS Word, and read specifically what the prayers are. Um, it'd be nice if you just looked at it and gave Father an opportunity to give you the grace, if he's going to. That would be whether or not he would for anyone specifically, I don't know, but he certainly gave it to. I felt like he gave it to me to do it, and like I said, I really benefited from it. So today's Tuesday, and we're waiting till Friday. you know, there's all kinds of talk about. We really shouldn't. You know, Try to be guessing at what's going to happen on Friday, or I think the last thing was September 23rd. I don't even know what all that was about. I didn't even bother with it. It was just this prediction that there was something going on because of some alignment in the heavens or something. And what happened? Nothing happened, or nothing that we know of anyway. Uh, so, uh, you know, so we should really stay away from that kind of stuff. I don't think God really likes us, um, people spending their time on predictions and, that sort of thing. We all need to live in the present moment. That is where there is grace. That is where there's the opportunity to grow closer to God. That's where the opportunity is to use grace to overcome your sin, and you know, um, and it's a hard thing to do. We live in the world, and the world's always getting our attention constantly. Um, so to try to become aware of um, God's interaction with us on a moment-to-moment basis really takes a lot of practice. I mean, I could do it to some extent, but I'm sure there are people who do it much better than I do. And it's a process. It takes practice and it takes time. And so that's a, a better way to spend your time than thinking about what's going to happen in the future and what's this mean and whatever. I mean, that's where it comes down to trusting in God. And if you focus on your relationship with God, then everything else will work out just fine. That's the main thing. We can't control what's going to happen in the future, or what God's going to do, or what He's going to allow to happen. Um, so it's through a really solid trust in God, we can be like the little children that Jesus talks about in the gospel, to be very trusting. And, I mean, the little child doesn't say, hey, what are we doing this afternoon, or what's going on tomorrow, or, they don't think about that. And when, a parent says, come on, like, put on your coat, we're leaving, they don't even ask where they're going. I mean, sometimes they do, but we need to be like that, and it's not an easy thing for adults to be that way. That's for sure. But again, it's something you work out. All right, well, that's enough talking on my part, and I think that's about it for today. So enjoy the day, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.